Welcome to the iRacing Skip Barber series. Here we go from round 11 at Sonoma, and that overlay is not correct at all. That says Mount Panorama, but in fact that was last week, so let's get the right overlay up and get off to a better start than we already have. Got on the shots this evening, me, Chris Cohen, here on BSR TV. We are going to the Infineon Raceway for the first time since we've started covering this series. Should be an interesting race this evening, and hoping to get Matt Dalton in here to join us for the commentary as well, but no sign of him just yet, so just me on my own for now. But look at those scores in the table. Marc Mercer with a huge lead out in the number one spot. There is a drop round this time around in the Skip Barber series, so we've done a little bit of maths here, and even with his drop round he is still 49 points clear at the top of the table, which means that he needs a total of 12 points from tonight's race or the next race, which is the final race of the season, round 12. So 12 points from either of those races or a combination thereof, and he will take the season 5 championship. Swirydowicz slips into second place after overtaking Blake Townend, who failed to start the last race, and he's down in third place. A little bit of a gap then down to Marcus Hamilton in fourth. George Streetley not far behind in fifth. Maycock having a good season for Club 100 Racing in sixth place. Tom Ward seventh. Stuart Adcock not far behind. The first of the Adcocks is in eighth place. Then Rob Green, and Tim Adcock is actually in 10th place. That's not correct either. Doing well with the slides this evening, tell you what. And that's two top 10s for the Adcocks for Ninja Racing there. Job 11th, Cowan 12th, O'Leary 13th, Williams 14th. Grillo, who withdrew from the championship earlier this season to focus on his iRacing official career, is still in 15th place, having not scored points in a while, and George Lambert's there in 16th. Rapstin, who has impressed us in the last few rounds, getting some really good results, is in 17th, Povey 18th, and sharing 19th place there, Antoniades and Garnett. And Brendan O'Brien. Then Hoog, who has continued to impress since he's entered the season very late. Privateer entry at 22. Piercy, Sharp, Bramley, Grunhill and Patterson, all very close on points. It gets very tight on the points down towards the the other end of the top 32. Tom Stanley, Jamie Bird, Simon Hulbert, Robert Plumley and Sam Everest. Any of those guys could move up a significant number of places with a reasonable points haul this evening. In a team championship then, PH Racing out on top. Marc Mercer's team are leading the way. GR Legends second, not far behind Racing Game Show. That's the combination of Rapstin and Swirydowicz, of course. Friction Racing fourth place, then Ninja Racing, the Adcocks. Radicals are in 6th. Club 100 not far behind either, in 7th place. Warnell Racing 8th. Then a big gap back to AAA Racing Team there in 9th place. SS Racing, who made a late entry into the season. Good to have them back as well. They're in 10th. Then Apex, GR Masters, Club 100 Semi-Pros. No Grip Racing, Alan Patterson's team there in 14th place. Team Castrol, that's Hefford and Hunt's team in 15th, and Zob Speed rounding out the top 16. Now, 20 minutes of qualifying as usual, and then a roughly 30-minute race. Bearing in mind a lot of these drivers are fairly new to this circuit, not one that regularly features on the calendar. Let's go down to the qualifying and see what's going on down there on the track. Marc Mercer already sets a pole position time. Tom Ward not far behind. Maycock's third, Hamilton fourth, Townend in 5th place, but only 0.3 of a second separating the top 6 so far. Now, Marc Mercer will want to round out this season as quickly as he possibly can. I imagine he'll want to finish the job at Sonoma if he possibly can. He is currently going around the track faster than anyone else, but we're still fairly early into this qualifying session. There he is out on track. See what he's doing as far as his lap time goes. 124.6 to beat, as well, one of those Skip Barbers in the background getting a little bit out of shape there. That bright blue machine is a familiar sight at the front of the field, the number 33. He's won a good few races this season and finished highly. He's actually participated in every round as well, which, you know, gives him a big advantage. But when it comes to dropping a score towards the end of the season, his lowest scoring round so far is 13 points. So 13 points to drop means he's going to lose a few. Other drivers not having to drop any because they missed rounds. But it does mean that that 12 points is necessary. Whether he's aware of that or not at the moment, not too sure. He'll be focused on the task at hand tonight, which is going out there and winning, or coming high enough to score those 12 points at least. He'll want the win if it's on the table. Blake Townend, 3rd place in the championship after not starting Mount Panorama last week. We are just 1 week from the end of this series, and it's still all to play for 2nd place. I don't know about the win. Seems very likely Marc Mercer will get that, but not too sure yet. Evening, Matt.
Evening, Chris. Evening, everybody.
Matt Dalton joins us in the commentary box, just saying how Marc Mercer needs to score 12 points to secure this title this year, and it seems to be well within his grasp.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, Marc has been on a real vein of form all season, hasn't he? The tweaks they've made to the car with the tyre model and everything else have just fallen right into his lap, and he's taken some stopping. Interesting, he's running around at the minute with no front wing.
That's interesting, because on the pictures we've got here, we do have a front wing. It's a bit bent out of shape, but it's there. He momentarily had pole position as well, but he's just been pipped at the post by Marc Mercer. A low 124.6 as well, so maybe some iRacing issues either from you.
Yeah, there are some graphical issues and things that are going on this track. Interestingly, with the corner Marc Mercer's coming up to now, they take this corner and then use a lot of curb and actually go very, very wide on exit. And it's there that some of the guys are, graphically at least, having their front wings ripped off.
Well, Marc Mercer's running around with no front wing, and Townend was as well by the time I'd finished my sentence, interestingly. But for the viewers at home there, it might well be just a graphical issue. We're not too sure. It's not one that they ran last season, this particular circuit.
No, it's one that hasn't been used in the Skippy series for a while, but it's a good track.
Oh, absolutely, and it's a regular venue of things like the IndyCar series.
Yeah, and I believe NASCAR run here as well, don't they?
Yes, and there's different configurations available, and they're all equally tricky. The track goes up, down, left, right, technical corners, fast corners, slow corners, everything.
Yeah, it's a real mix, this one. It's a good track to drive. I've been having a dabble with the official races and things this week, and I've been really enjoying it.
And a couple of Blake Townend fans in the YouTube chat. Whoa, watch out, Mark! Ooh, almost caught one of the spinning qualifiers there, but keeps it out of trouble. A couple of guys in the chat saying that it's one of Blake's favourite tracks, this, so should expect Blake Townend to get some decent times. And he's actually gone into pole position, provisional pole position, halfway through the qualifying session, with a 124.552 as well. So Hamilton second, Mercer third.
That's a good lap. Blake actually fastest in practice for the 24 dead, so possible there's some more time to find there yet. Yeah, be good to see Blake back at the front. He's had some bad luck this year and some weird incidents like last week where he completely missed the start, but I think that's real life issues at the moment, and be good to see him back at the sharp end for sure.
Absolutely, and 18th at the moment is the number 180 there, Phil Piercy. I wonder if he's any relation to Alan Piercy, do you know?
No.
That sorts that one out then. Glad you cleared that one up for us.
Thinking about it for a second there, and no, I don't know.
Also new this week, Martin Plowman. I haven't seen him out on the track before, the number 43. He's new to the series, perhaps?
Yep. Hopefully he won't get himself in too much of a pickle.
Oh, it's started already. You better save the best ones for next week. It's the last race.
Well, but then we'll have a couple of weeks to think of some more, won't we, sir?
Yeah, fair enough. Werner Nemetz as well, who did set a time last time round and then didn't start the race. He's out there on the entry list at least, but he's not out on the circuit. So maybe it takes a bit of courage for some of these guys to go a little bit past qualifying and start this race, but it's going to be a huge grid again, isn't it? 43 drivers registered.
Yep. We got 43 registered, but a few of those have bailed by the look of it. I think Ellis Stevens had some connection issues, so that explains him. But on the list of shame is Dave Dowson and Keith Sharp.
Well, it's a recurring theme, unfortunately, for Ellis Stevens. Dave Dowson, another name I don't recognise, so new to the series, and Keith Sharp for Zobspeed. Surprised if he won't come back for this particular race, because we often see him out on the track. Now, Swirydowicz and Rapstin, the two racing game show drivers, are currently 8th and 9th. Swirydowicz seems to be fairly low down the field compared to where he'd want to be, Matt.
Yeah, a bit of a surprise to see Big Wodge down here, but like I said, at least the Wodges are running in tandem, so...
We could be crowning a new champion at the end of this race as well, with a drop round. The calculation is he's 49 points ahead, so he'd need 12 points. Unless
they move the last round to double points. But then they wouldn't do that. Only an idiot would come up with an idea like that.
Oh, what are you doing, Bernie? Well, if that's if Swirydowicz wins as well. Swirydowicz would have to win this race from 8th position on the grid. It seems a very tall order, even for Big Wodge, as you like to call him.
Yeah, that's a big ask, isn't that?
We'll see, I suppose. And his teammate there runs a little bit wide. He takes the inside there. And just look at the elevation changes. I mean, it's difficult to appreciate just watching it, and it'd be much tougher on these drivers going round this circuit. But you can see on the cameras, just up that little hill, down this one, take the corner very wide, as you said, run over that curb, plenty of room on the exit, and it's more suited, really, to something with a bit more suspension travel, this wide area, because you do have to run over that curb.
Yeah, and it's interesting though. I wonder if the sort of missing front wings from clobbering that curb is just a graphical issue, or if it is actually affecting the cars.
Well, we shall find out.
Chris Simpson's running quite well in P10, isn't he? He's another relative newcomer to the series.
He is, yeah. Club 100 Masters. They've got 3 teams, I believe. Club 100 Racing, Semi-Pros and Masters.
Oh, right.
So I don't know how you get into the Semi-Pros team, what you have to do wrong to be labelled with that. But Club 100 Masters have not really featured this season, so good to see Chris Simpson with a very strong qualifying time.
So they've got Club 100 Pro, Semi-Pro, and then Masters.
And Racing as well. I don't know, is Pro a team?
I don't know. Oh, so they've got Racing, Semi-Pro, and Masters.
Let's have a look down my team entry list here.
Confusing
Masters,
me a little.
yeah, Masters, Racing, and Semi-Pros, but no Pros.
I wonder which order that goes in then.
So Club 100 is an actual club, real life racing club, that some of these drivers have either driven in or are driving in right now, and they've been given permission by their chairman or organiser, whatever you call it, to use the livery and represent in the Skip Barber series, which is great news for Club 100.
Yeah. It is. Marc Mercer is Club 100 as well, isn't he?
He's not in the Club 100 team, but he has an association.
Right.
Chris Simpson just goes over the line now, unable to improve, stays in 12th place, 10th place rather. And yeah, so he has some kind of association, which is why he has that livery on that number 33 machine.
I get you.
Marc Mercer, just one half of PH Racing, Paul Grillo making up the other half, but he has withdrawn from the championship this season to concentrate on the official series in competition with Martin Peck, I believe, and we'd like to see both of those drivers back in this series, ideally next season if they can, because...
Oh, yeah, definitely. Although, of course, we never really saw Martin Peck until the end of the race when he'd pop up in 3rd or 2nd or something.
Yeah, he wasn't the greatest qualifier, he wasn't the greatest race starter, but the race pace from Martin Peck was absolutely spot on.
Yep. He's like a ninja, wasn't he? He's just appear on the podium.
On the podium, yeah. We didn't see him win too many races, I don't believe, but he was always finishing very highly.
Yep.
So we've got about 4 minutes of qualifying left. Townend still top. Maycock goes second with a 124.3. Marc Mercer's in that kind of territory, but let's see what he can do when he comes around the final hairpin bend here at the Infineon Raceway. Don't go on the inside of Marc Mercer when he's finishing a qualifying lap. I can't even say finishing correctly. He goes over the line and a 120. No, he's not going to beat it. So a lot slower that time, but tricky track. And everyone's coping quite well so far, I thought.
Yeah, there's a few of these are really on it. I'm just watching Blake Townend, and again, a bit like Bathurst last week, the commitment levels are unreal. I think Blake is perhaps feels he's got a bit of a point to prove this week as well. There was a little bit of afters with a few things from Bathurst, and a few people made some comments and things like that, which have I think Blake has taken it all a little personally. He's perhaps on a bit of a mission this evening.
Well, if he's got a point to prove, he is currently proving it top of the qualifying times. 124.2. A very good time, but as you say, there's 2/10 to shave off that compared to the practice times. We might see that come down a little bit. Robert Plumley there, just on the cameras, deciding to mow the grass. I think someone better tell him it's a desert, there's no grass to cut. The black stuff is definitely the faster way round.
I thought that looked like a quick lap from Blake. He's just improved that to a 24.1.
So he's now 2/10 ahead of his strongest competitor so far, Maycock. Swirydowicz actually jumps into 4th place. And no George Streetley this week, from what I could see. So he won't be adorning the top 10 as he usually is.
No, it's a bit of a shame not to see George. Just a bit distracted because I'm just watching Blake, and he is absolutely throwing that thing around. He's behind Alan Piercy at the minute, so I don't think he'll improve this lap. He's been balked a little bit there, but still, the corner speed and the commitment is incredible.
Oh well, we just learned from the YouTube comments, in fact, that the association between Martin Plowman out on circuit and Martin Plowman, the 24-hour Le Mans driver. Whether it's the same person, I'm not sure. That's interesting nonetheless.
No idea. Interesting to find out.
Yeah, the Oak Racing driver. He won the LMP2 class, in fact, in 2013. So, if that is the same Martin Plowman, excited to see what he can. Well, excited to see what Martin Plowman can do anyway, whether he is or not.
And also, I apologise unreservedly for the cheesy pun.
Oh no, you just made it worse.
Oh, sorry.
Over the line, 126.8 for Plowman, and that puts him in 31st place. Also, Mark Hewitt's out there on the track in the wheel damage livery number 41. Skip Barber, hoping to keep all 4 wheels in one piece for this race. Mark Hewitt does a lot of in-car streaming as well, live streaming. He's got his own Twitch channel, which you can seek out after the racing concludes. And who's that just up ahead of him there with the... Is that a Marlboro paint job? I've seen that one out on track before. I tell you what...
No idea. Who are we looking at?
I tell you what, do you remember we had a Williams job, didn't we? A Williams paint job out on track.
Still have. That is James Child, I believe.
Is it really?
Nope. It's not. Vernon Nimitz is the one with the Marlboro paint job.
Ah, there he is, the number 29. Privateer entry. Shell Oil sponsorship.
There is a Williams one, I just can't find who it is.
But you keep clicking away and we'll talk about...
Blakely, who's just crashed. So, brilliant timing.
Oh, lovely focus on the camera as well. Watch the back of that car, actually. That's not going to do it any good at all. He is, he's currently waiting to come back on the circuit, and he's packed it in as well. So we won't get a look at that nice Williams paint job. But the qualifying session is over. Drivers can, of course, finish off their last lap if they were over the line before the timer ran out then. We have Antoniades packs it in. Adcock's still going well. 18th, Tim Adcock. Will want to do a little bit better than that. His partner in crime, Stuart Adcock, qualifying 9th at the minute. And a bit of a gulf between 9th and 10th place there. We're seeing 3/10 the difference.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a difference. I'm just watching Blake. I don't think he's going to improve this lap. couple of little tiny errors. George Lambert's on a reasonably quick one now and picking up a nice toe as well where it counts.
So George Lambert in 7th place. Can he improve? Coming towards the end of the final qualifying lap here in round 11.
Yeah, that slide there is going to hurt him a little bit. That's going to cost him some time.
And Ralph Thompson just up ahead of him. Shouldn't get in his way too much. Not enough time now to make a difference. Over the start-finish line he goes. It's looking like a good lap from Lambert. So 124.4, so he does improve. But he misses out on that 6th place by 0.02 of a second. So couldn't get much closer than that, Matt.
That's I don't even know how you'd measure that with one of these things.
Now Mercer starting 3rd, but Townend, as you say, possibly with a point to prove here this evening, is going to be starting from pole position. Jonathan Maycock did extremely well to get into 2nd place on the front row of the grid there.
Yeah,
lurking
it's a
car in
great
the pits.
result.
That is Chris Morris in the pits there. So the cars.
Great result from it's a great result from Jonathan Maycock, though, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the highest we've seen one of the Cock boys for a long time.
Well, he's one of 3 Cocks on the track this evening. Tim Adcock, Stuart Adcock, Jonathan Maycock.
He's one of a considerably larger number than that.
You've got to be careful now, haven't you?
Here we do, yeah.
No, I said you. I don't have to be careful. I've got plenty of good karma coming my way, surely.
I'm built like a brick outhouse, mate. I can handle it.
All right, here we go. Round 11. The drivers are gridding up. Only one more round after this. Marc Mercer, that blue car on the left-hand side of your picture on the grid, needs 12 points from this round to get onto Season 5 champion. Well, he's going to take another championship. He's won plenty of championships in the past, in this very series, but he'd love, more than anything probably right now, another one of those. That's Maycock on the inside of the track. Interesting that pole position gets the outside line here, Matt.
Yeah, that might be... It could be a little bit of a disadvantage, if anything, because you've got this long sweeping left-hander up to the first turn, but...
Well, once again, the blimp cam is no use whatsoever, just leading up to that first corner there. Nice view of the grandstand, and nothing
Blake
more.
has actually arrived on the start line, which is good news.
Yeah, and last week at Panorama, Mount Panorama, I should say, we had a problem getting some cars onto the grid, including Townend, and 6 of the top 10 appeared not to start. It's a very interesting situation.
Very strange, some issues there, wasn't there? We appear to have everybody this time, though. We're missing, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. We're missing whoever was in 6th. No, there's Wodge, he's there. So it looks like we've got everybody.
We're moments away now from 30 minutes of Skip Barber action here on BSR TV around the Infineon Raceway Sonoma. 18.
Carnageometer is currently idling on Chernobyl.
The lights are on, they're ready to go. The green flag is out. Tannen's leading them away. Great start. Mercer already looking to make an impression. Look at all those cars streaming round that corner there. Nice pink car in the middle of your screen there. My attention immediately drawn to that. Everybody is through so far as well. Townend has it then from Maycock. Mercer being challenged by Swirydowicz, looks like.
Some contacts in the back, I'm sure.
Oh, it's all gone wrong at the back for some drivers. Is that Tim Adcock involved in that as well? Yeah, looks like it. Oh dear. That's Steve Hefford as well, 38 of Andy Baker. A lot of damage on the front of that Tim Adcock machine. Let's go back and have another look at that one in just a moment. Tim Adcock, Blake Townend rather incorrectly showing a 2nd, but he's 1st. Marc Mercer in the 3rd position right now. Alright, let's go back and have a quick look at that start again. Let's see if we can find out what happened to Tim Adcock and the other guys. In fact, we'll go on board with Tim Adcock right now and have a look. Just as I might have put the commentator's curse on that pink car, I really hope I haven't.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Oh, Adcock straight in the back of another vehicle there and spins round sideways, collected by another car. Not sure who he rear-ended there.
Townend had Marc Mercer had a very big moment going into the hairpin there.
And Mercer's actually down to 7th now. He's well, after one lap here, it's already hotting up. Townend's trying to pull away into the lead, but that's Swirydowicz behind Mercer. Let's go back and have another look at that Marc Mercer slide, if we can. And as this was coming down into the hairpin on the first lap, Swirydowicz goes down the inside, has a little look, but not really going to make much of it. Mercer almost went straight on there, Matt.
Yeah, I think he missed his break, or perhaps got suckered in a little bit following Jonathan Maycock, but big moment there for Mark. He'll have had his heart in his mouth for a second there.
Mercer down the inside of Lambert. Lambert's having none of it, takes the nice wide exit there, and he comes under attack now from Marcus Hamilton. Hamilton will have the outside, but it's 3 wide. Well, Mercer deciding that 3 wide's not a good idea.
No, Mark is not going to want to be involved in any of that, is he? He just wants his 12 points, and that'll do.
Absolutely.
Swirydowicz with a big slide.
Oh, I thought that was it. I thought that was curtains for Swirydowicz for a moment, but holds on to it well. And that's Tom Ward, in fact. Tom Ward is right behind Marc Mercer, who seems to be lacking pace and making a few mistakes at the moment. 6th and 7th, sorry, belong to Swirydowicz and Mercer, as we see Swirydowicz go off into the gravel. Mercer dives down the inside. Oh, almost makes contact, and he gets his breaking point wrong again, Matt.
That's strangely, it's not like Marc Mercer to be struggling like this, is he?
Absolutely not. He's coming under all sorts of pressure. He's down to 9th position now. He's got Adcock ahead of him, Swirydowicz ahead of him, and Peter Cowan is right behind in the Club 100 machine. Well, I wouldn't like to be Marc Mercer now.
I mean, the thing is, he's so lucky to have got away with that a second time and not collected Swirydowicz here.
Well, Swirydowicz was wise to it at the very last minute. I don't think there was any contact, but it was very close. So the car's coming over the crest of that hill once again. This is lap 3, and it's still nose to tail. But look at this out front. A half-second gap now for Blake Townend. And you're right, all the front wings are missing from these cars, so whether that's a graphical issue or not, well, let's hope it's a graphical issue at least.
Yeah, indeed, it's last thing you want is for everybody to be with no front wing, but...
And Maycock doing so well in second place. The gap is now 1 second, but he is 1.3 ahead of Rapstin, who has got into 3rd place here. Rapstin has Lambert right on the gearbox of that Skip Barber. Rapstin does have a front wing, incidentally. Defends the inside line. Lambert's going to try and go around the outside, but he won't get the job done on the longer line there. The number 30 is going to have to find another way round. Coming under all sorts of pressure, though, is Rapstin from George Lambert. And those front two are starting to escape, so Rapstin's going to have to get a shift on or let Lambert through. Car emerges from the pits there, not the best place to come out of the pits. I think that's Marcus Narris, in fact, just rejoining the race after the fray on turn 1.
I'm just trying to catch my eye and figure out where everybody is here. I think Marc Mercer's got himself past Stuart Adcock, so he's made one position up there. Seems to have gathered himself up and got into a rhythm now.
Well, Tom Ward and Marcus Hamilton are in 6th and 5th position, respectively. They are doing very well at this stage of the race. And who is that in the pink car? I need to find that out. Oh, and we've got a very slow car over there. Was that Ashley Blakely? No, it wasn't. It was somebody else who was going extremely slowly on the inside of that corner. Thought it was going to cause a problem for everybody else, but got away with it in the end. So Hamilton 5th, Ward is 6th now, in the identical livery cars, and that's Swirydowicz just behind. Mercer seems to have recovered into a nice rhythm this time. We'll see if he gets the hairpin right this time.
Yeah, seems to have collected a breaking point there, so that's good news.
Now side by side, Ward and Hamilton. Hamilton has the inside here, will keep the position. Hamilton's got the kind of blue-purple helmet. Ward has the one just behind with the green stripe on the top. Swirydowicz not far behind these guys either. Now, Wojtek Swirydowicz and Marc Mercer surely have to be the faster drivers here, but Mercer almost took out Swirydowicz once again and might just let Adcock through here. Adcock sniffs that position but can't get the job done.
Yeah, Mercer...
Oh, Swirydowicz is way off the track.
Mark's living dangerously a bit here, isn't he?
He is, but Swirydowicz just seems to be having trouble controlling his car. Big sparks fly over that curb there, and he was way off the track into the dirt. Got it back under control, but both of these drivers are top quality. Both have won championships, and both are struggling perhaps it's the new circuit.
There'll be a bit of that. I think the other thing is that Mark perhaps probably feels a bit of, he's under pressure a little bit, but also possibly, apart from a couple of early mistakes, realises that as long as he finishes close to Wodge, that's all he needs to do.
Well, indeed, well, the maths is kind of hard. Down the inside, that's Stuart Adcock. Oh, Mercer's run wide again. I don't know if it was a result of the dive from Stuart Adcock there, and well, let's have a look. Mercer's going to hold it just about. Mercer did very well to hold that around the outside there, but they're still side by side. Adcock tucks in behind Mercer now. He's going to need to have another go at that particular overtake, but that's cost Mercer some time, Matt.
Yeah, struggling to comprehend why Mark has ended up scrapping away like this back there. He's normally considerably quicker than these guys, isn't he? No, I mean, no offence intended to them, but it's not where we're used to seeing him for sure. No,
he's really struggling out here in the States for this particular round of the iRacing Skip Barber Championship. 6 laps down. Still got another 12 laps to go around this very tricky circuit. You can see just how wide Mercer's taking that, along with the other drivers, that particular corner. Swirydowicz still up in front, about 0.7 ahead, and then Tom Ward, Marcus Hamilton. Lambert has dropped back a little bit on Rapstin now, so Rapstin holds on to that 3rd place, but Lambert's a constant threat, and Lambert...
Oh, but there was a stationary car of Rob Burton there, and...
Oh, Stuart Adcock's in trouble.
With him, and he's gone.
Well, we've got more trouble here. There's Tom Ward. Tom Ward's off the track. Well, he spun it, but he's still going.
I don't know if that was all related to the same thing or not.
Let's go back and have another look at this one from Tom Ward's perspective. There is a sideways car, you're right. Burton is in the middle of the track there. Well, Tom Ward seems to just... I don't know if he took evasive action there or not, Matt. Let's go back and have another look at that one, but he had trouble controlling the car. On board now with Tom Ward.
Yeah, I know Stuart Adcock definitely collided with the front of Rob Burton's car. I don't know about Tom Ward.
Oh, there was contact. The slightest touch. I don't think Tom Ward was expecting that car to be in that position there, but let's go and have a look at that one from... this is on board with Stuart Adcock now, the same incident. And that was a sideways Robert Burton, was it not?
Yeah, did he collect Tom as well?
Well, we're on board with Stuart Adcock. There was slight contact with Tom Ward's car.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just some rear suspension damage.
Yeah, and they've both run over the nose of... you can actually see Tom Ward in the foreground there. They've both run over the nose of Burton's car there. Take the nose off the car. Adcock seems to have come off worse because that big concrete barrier loomed very quickly. And that might well have ended Stuart Adcock's race from 7th position as well.
Yep. Real shame. Good run. He was on a good run there. But that does take the pressure off Marc Mercer rather nicely, doesn't it? Marc can just sit and hold position there behind Wodge. Blake has got a nice handy gap at the front, so for once we're not concentrating on the front guys quite so much.
Again, Mercer getting very close to the gearbox of Swirydowicz, but nothing to do in these first few corners. Very difficult to make any kind of overtake there. Now, Hamilton is taking the battle to Lambert and Rapstin. Rapstin has held off Lambert for now, but he's got the added pressure of Marcus Hamilton right behind. Hamilton 4th in the championship right now, and will want to make up as many points as possible. Swirydowicz and Mercer, you can see that battle going on in the background. Down the inside, Hamilton takes too much curb, won't get the exit speed he needs, so the number 30, George Lambert, holds on to that 4th position right now. But Townend, 3 seconds up in the lead of this race, and Maycock's on his own. 3 seconds to the leader, and 3 seconds back to Rapstin as well, so those guys really can take it easy.
Rapstin's done a good job of sneaking into 3rd place almost unnoticed, mind, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, he's been in 3rd place for most of the race now after that first corner. And now here comes Lambert down the outside.
Not quite so unnoticed then.
Well, how he got there in the first place was unnoticed. And Swirydowicz right on the back of this battle now. Oh, Rapstin's got a very poor exit. We're on board with Rapstin, that's Lambert looking for a way round.
Swirydowicz climbing all over the back of Marcus Hamilton as well, isn't he?
Well, there's 4 cars trying to go into one place here. This could be dangerous. All the drivers keep it under control, but you can see there the line Lambert's taken to try and get ahead of Rachdin before turn 1 has cost him in turn 1 because he's had to go out wide. Oh, clatters the curbs. Both curbs there as well. Lambert really wants this, you can tell. And Rachdin hanging on by the skin of his teeth here. We know he's fast, but looks like the other guys behind him are even faster this time around. Back from Lambert, Skip Barber once again. Hamilton down the inside of Lambert. Can he get the job done? No. Just costing him too much speed on the inside corner there on that curb, Matt. And Marc Mercer really on the attack now. Well, we're halfway through this race. Marc Mercer's got some positions to make up. He made up 1 by the retirement of Tom Ward after contact with Robert Burton spinning Skip Barber. 2 wide now up in front. That's Swirydowicz, Hamilton. Well, Swirydowicz is going to try and go down the inside here.
Yeah, meanwhile Lambert and Rachdin are still continuing their little scrap.
Well, Hamilton's had to let him go. Mercer thinks about taking a little sneaky peek as well. He might well get a good exit here. Hamilton gets a better exit though, keeps him behind. So Swirydowicz up 1 position. Hamilton down to 6, but Mercer still in 7th place. Side by side now, Lambert looks like he's got the job done finally. On lap 10. Into turn 1, gets the inside line on Rachdin this time. And a good overtake for George Lambert. He is now in 3rd position for that GR Masters team. Rachdin right on the back of that Skip Barber though.
He's not going to want to give that up without a fight, is he? He's got a good exit on that corner there.
No, not enough for Rachdin there. Well, Hamilton trying the outside this time. Has he let Mercer down the inside? Squeezes him out.
Was there a bit of contact again there as well?
I think Mercer got away with it by mounting the curb a little bit more than he would have liked, but I'm sure that was less room than he wanted from Marcus Hamilton having got down the inside. Well, he's got the run on Hamilton now. He will surely go down the inside for the final corner. There's a slow car up in front.
No, that's unfortunate. That
well,
was
they're both
Ralph
off.
Ralph Thompson was doing his very, very best to stay out of the way there, and
he just didn't know that there was going to be a too wide situation.
He probably could have lifted out a little bit more going into that hairpin line, but...
Well, let's go back and have another look at that one from the gearbox of Ralph Thompson, because that is a scary sight for a Skip Barber driver to come across quite so quickly. Ralph Thompson on the inside just lifts off, thinks that's not the racing line. I'll slow down, let these guys through. Marc Mercer decides to go too wide. Big slide from the blue number 33, but no harm done in the end, except a few tenths lost.
Meanwhile, you've got this 3rd place battle is rapidly approaching your favourite paint job here.
Oh, really?
Yep. Coming up beyond Ashley Blakely in the looks like a 94 or 95 Williams.
Who's driving the pink car then? I want to know who's driving the pink car. Good job, Ashley, getting out of the way. Ashley.
Yeah, good job there. Kind of knackers your own race, but you know that's good driving in terms of staying out of the way of the leaders. Although, yeah, no, he does hang up.
Well, he is 20 seconds behind.
Gives Ralph a bit of a shoe in there coming back on, but that's for position. He's allowed to do that.
Oh, and Vernon Emmets, I should say, did make it onto the circuit for this particular race. So the number 29 going round as a lap down at the moment, but still plugging away.
Blake Townend, though, we haven't mentioned him much really, have we? We haven't said too much about him, but he has absolutely destroyed the rest of them this evening.
There's no question.
If he had a point to prove, he's proved it, hasn't he?
Absolutely no question. 5 seconds in 12 laps. That's about half a second a lap quicker than anyone else on the circuit. That's saying something, because Jonathan Maycock is not going slowly around this circuit. No,
and in these cars as well, that's not easily done. They tend to be very, very close. And I mean, this is the most processional race we've seen, I think we've ever commentated on in a Skip Barber series.
Oh, is that Rachdin going off the circuit there, or was that his partner Swirydowicz just behind?
No, they both look to be still running.
Well, they both survive. Lambert, having taken that 3rd place, is still under threat from Rachdin though. Looking like a good build up towards the end of what could be an exciting race. Mercer is past Hamilton into 6th. So 6th place, I'm not sure how many points are awarded for 6th place. Should have that info somewhere. See if we can go find that info while we're talking to you.
He's going to win it, isn't he? He was 12. He needed 12 points if Swirydowicz won, and
yeah.
Swirydowicz isn't winning, so.
Well, yeah, that's a good point you make. Well, Matt Dalton, I don't think
one does one's best, you know.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else is going to be able to catch him if he continues at this kind of pace. 6th place will award him 15 points, so it doesn't matter where Swirydowicz finishes, even if all the drivers in front of him crash out. So,
yep.
Marc Mercer is on for yet another UK&I Skip Barber Series Championship. If he can hold his place on this circuit, no matter where Swirydowicz finishes, no matter where Townend finishes, in fact.
Yep. Good little battle for 7th, for 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th, yeah? You got Brendan O'Brien, Peter Cowan, Mark O'Connell and Alan Pearcey having a good little scrap. Mark O'Connell will be the one in the your favourite paint job. Second favourite paint job.
A lovely pink car from Mark O'Connell, but he's fought his way into 10th place there. Chris Simpson, who we saw qualify 10th, is down to 12th. And about 3 seconds behind this battle right now. Alan Pearcey is following very closely that pink machine of Marc O'Connell. And Pearcey looks like he might be challenging for this 10th position before too long. 13 laps down. The leaders going over the line there. Blake Townend onto lap 14. He will take some solace in the fact that he was able to win this race if he holds on, especially by such a convincing margin. We've seen him struggle for pace in the last few races, but Marc Mercer's continued good form as proving to be too much for any of these other drivers.
Yeah, a good little scrap as well, just having a look through the field. 15th, 16th, 17th. Tom Stanley, Martin Plowman and Phil Jocelyn all having a good little scrap with each other.
And Martin Plowman, who managed to qualify in the 30s, has worked his way all the way up into 16th.
Yeah, good job.
Tom Stanley is now under serious threat of losing that position. Phil Jocelyn just behind there in the bright yellow car. These guys in the 15s and 16s, they need a bit of paint job, don't they? That's a particularly nasty combination of colours on Martin Plowman's car, if you'll permit me to say so.
That's a bit harsh.
Even if he doesn't, I've said it anyway.
Considering you're the one who likes pink, I think that's probably a bit harsh on that one.
Who said anything about liking pink?
Well, all your cars that you try and drive are pink.
Have you ever been overtaken by a pink car? Do you know what that feels like?
No.
Awful. And that's one reason why people do it. So Phil Jocelyn just dropping off the back of this group a little bit. Martin Plowman looks like he's going to take 15th place away from Tom Stanley in the 961 there. That number 43 machine, it's kind of yellow on the front and then lime green at the back, but more important than its colour is its current position, because Plowman looks down the inside at the hairpin. Can he get later on the brakes? Decides to pull out of that one. Stanley took a very wide line there trying to keep his speed up, and he might have just handed that one to Plowman. Plowman gets a better exit, looking for an overtaking opportunity down into turn 1 as they come over the line. Onto their 15th lap. We've got a car off in the background, not sure who that is. Plowman won't get close enough. He's going to have to sit behind Stanley for at least part of another lap.
And another look back at the front as well. Blake has pulled away from Jonathan Maycock to the extent of 6 and a bit seconds now, so he is long gone. George Lambert, though, has got sight of Jonathan Maycock in front of him. I don't know if Jonathan made a mistake or what, but George Lambert is honing in on the back of him rather nicely at the minute.
Well, I can tell you, George Lambert is absolutely on fire. I think George Lambert's last lap was 1/10 off the fastest qualifying lap from Blake Townend, and he's running 0.6 of a second quicker than Maycock up in front, who is about a second and a half in the lead, I believe. So if he carries on at this pace, he will catch Maycock before the end of the race. And I tell you what, Rapston's not far behind either.
You're not wrong. His pace is 24.1, 24.2, 24.3. That's blindingly quick.
Absolutely. Mercer, meanwhile, is under threat from Marcus Hamilton, who is going quicker than him around the circuit at the moment. And Mercer is still under threat. So all Mercer has to do is finish, so I don't think he's going to be particularly worried about keeping Hamilton behind him. If he finishes like this, the championship is his.
George Lambert is on an absolute... I'm just watching him driving that car. He's on an absolute mission. He is literally throwing the thing around.
And we just saw a great move from Mercer, doing exactly the opposite of what Hamilton forced him to do, forcing Hamilton onto the inside of that curb and scrubbing off all the speed. So Mercer is defending that position well. But let's go back to George Lambert, because he's now less than a second behind Jonathan Maycock in second place. So the second place is on the cards for George Lambert, and I don't think Lambert's been this high up. I don't think he's had many podium finishes, and certainly not second place.
No, whatever we said at the end of the last lap, he is on him now. I mean, he's really got the bit between his teeth. Another 24.2 that time round. That's an impressive pace.
Well, Swirydowicz actually doing a 24.0 that time round. So he's the fastest man on the circuit at the moment, but Maycock consistently running in the 24.8s, so it's going to be this lap when Lambert gets onto the back of that Club 100 machine in front of him. We've got 2 laps left from Infineon Raceway, then one more race from Interlagos next week will round out the season. But if Marc Mercer finishes where he currently is, he will be the Season 5 iRacing Skip Barber champion, no questions asked, even with the drop rounds. He doesn't have to race next week. Probably will anyway, because he enjoys this so much. Look at Lambert fight that GR Masters machine around these corners. Whatever he's doing, he's winning the fight more than Jonathan Maycock up in front of him, isn't he?
Oh, he's on him, isn't he? He's really like a dog with a bone. He's absolutely all over him.
Well, Lambert wrenching the car around that fast right-hander, and he's not going to try as Maycock defends the inside line. He'll go for the exit speed here, will Lambert. And it's not going to happen this time round, I don't think. Well, we're on to the last lap now. Can Maycock hold on for one more lap? Or can George Lambert, with his 5,000 iRacing, get past that Club 100 driver and take the second place? Meanwhile, Swirydowicz and Rapston are having a good old battle behind, aren't they?
They are. This is a cracking scrap for the last lap. Yeah. George is all over Stuart Adcock.
Oh, here comes the move, surely.
Oh, a little bit of contact there.
I should say Jonathan Maycock rather than Stuart Adcock.
Yeah, that's the one.
Looks to carry the speed to get the inside line. Maycock already going defensive. Lambert's going to have to go the long way around if he wants this position. Going for the cutback now. Lambert tries to ease his Skip Barber onto the inside. Meanwhile, Rapston and Swirydowicz still scrapping out. In 4th and 5th, just behind. Blake Townend, meanwhile, 9 seconds in front.
Yeah, Blake has just destroyed him, hasn't he?
Absolutely
That's
blitzed
a
the field.
mind-blowing gap in this car.
Oh, Lambert throwing absolutely everything he's got at this course. He's got one position to make up and one corner to do it in. Can he do it? Townend's over the line, takes the victory. Lambert's going for the outside. He's outbraked himself. He won't get there. Ah, it's a shame for George Lambert. He'll have to settle for... What's happened to Swirydowicz? Well, Swirydowicz has dropped right back. Well, we didn't see it, but Swirydowicz was running 5th and comes home 7th.
He's lost it. Swirydowicz lost it trying to overtake Rapston going into the through the fast right and left-handers.
Well, they were focusing on the wrong battle then. Oh, and was there contact there?
Yes, there was.
Right in the middle of the track as well. Those other two did very well to avoid him, and decides to drive the right way around the track. Let's have another look at that one from the point of view of Rapston. We're on board. Sorry, from Swirydowicz. We're on board Swirydowicz now. Just goes for that inside line. Rapston moves across there to defend, and I don't think Swirydowicz was expecting that particular move, and that's unsettled the front of his car as those I think his wheel made contact with the back of Rapston's car and just couldn't control it there. So teammates coming to blows on the very last the very last lap of the penultimate race. Not what we wanted to see. Rapston gets it.
Marc Mercer saying that he recalibrated his brake before the start.
And that caused his lack of pace, I assume, was the follow-on from that.
Yep. There's also a bit of afters there is Rapston is not overly happy at Rob Burton for parking it in the middle of the S's either.
No, I imagine that Stuart Adcock and Tom Ward are not entirely pleased with that, having been taken out of the race as well. But that is the way of things sometimes. If you lose control of the car, you don't always have the opportunity to get out of the way. Those drivers did do well to go around him. 2 drivers managed to get caught up in that, unfortunately. Townend takes it, but Marc Mercer is Season 5 iRacing Skip Barber champion. And we can't have a word with him because I understand he doesn't have a microphone. It makes it kind of hard. Have you got his number? We can give him a call.
I haven't.
Oh, that's a shame. Well done, Mark. It's a great season, especially very hard fought, and due to last week's failure to start by Blake Townend puts it all beyond doubt before the last round of the season, but second place is still up for grabs, so still all worth racing for next week, unless your name's Marc Mercer, in which case he might just sit that one out, but I have a feeling he won't, Matt.
No, I think he'll turn up and want to put a stamp on the championship. But Blake, man of the day has got to be Blake Townend. He's absolutely monstered him this evening.
And that gap was 9 seconds by the end of the race. But George Lambert almost came away with that second place at the very end of the race. And we're joined now by George. Hello, George.
Hi, Chris.
Welcome to BSR TV. You have a habit of making the end of races very exciting, and tonight was no exception. You almost got there, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm not sure where Jonathan's pace went, or if I just found a load in the race, because I wasn't expecting to catch him.
Well, it was such a good battle to watch, because you must have been about a second and a half down with 3 laps to go, and we could see that you were quicker. You're going to catch him up, but did you think about taking the dive, or was it just not worth it?
I was trying to look for a space, but I was trying to make it clean as well, so I wasn't trying to force anything too much.
Now, this is the first time we've covered this particular circuit, and it's not frequently on the Skip Barber calendar. Do you think that might have accounted for the slightly unusual order of some of the results?
Yeah, probably. I put in more practice this week, so that's probably why I'm further up the grid.
Well, it's another championship that's gone to Marc Mercer, but do you think that's on merit? Do you think he was the fastest driver overall, or do you think it would have been closer?
Yeah, Mark's great. I mean, he's got the speed and the racecraft, so you can't really beat him.
Well, we got one round coming up next week, and it's surely one of the drivers' favourites there. Interlagos is going to be another high-speed, high-action affair. Is that one that goes down well with you?
I'm not a huge fan of Interlagos. It's a bit dull in this car, I find. It's kind of a bit too big for it, but
I'm with you. I think, George, it's not one of my personal favourites either. I got to be honest.
No, it's interesting. That I always thought that should have been quite high up on drivers' favourites. But anyway, the little is going to change that, shall we say. It's going to be there next week, whether you want to race it or not. But we'll count on you for another entertaining race next week, no doubt, and hopefully can improve his position in the championship even further. I take that as a yes, George.
Sorry, I didn't realise that was a question. Yeah, that'd be nice.
I'll rephrase it as a question for you. Can you improve your championship position next week?
Yes.
George Lambert, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck for next week.
Thank you.
He's been taking answering tips off me, isn't he? Yes.
He has.
No.
Absolutely. I always think after coming out of a race like that, it's got to be pretty exhilarating, and it's good of the drivers to give us their time as well. So
yeah.
Well, good on George for that. And Blake, are you there?
I am indeed.
Blake Townend. 9 seconds was the margin at the end of that race. You had a different fuel in your car to everyone else. It might have been rocket fuel, I think.
Well, that would be telling, wouldn't it?
What was your secret this evening? Can you say?
It's just the balance of the car. It just suited me perfectly. I've never driven anything so good, certainly in a Skippy anyway. Considering I've been struggling in some races, so to show what I can, what I can achieve is brilliant. And all my laps were 124s apart from the first lap.
And we saw those lap times get down to the 124.2s during the race, so very good performance there. But did you honestly expect to win by such a large gap, or was that a bit surprising?
Well, the others weren't too far off. They were 3-4 tenths off in practice qualifying. So, but I think I just had the consistency, and if you're fighting position and not getting the laps in, you're going to lose your consistency and lose the gap.
Well, Marc Mercer has been fast all season, but really struggled here. Only managed 5th place in the end, and some might have said it was a fortunate 5th place. But was he the faster man all season?
Yes. Certainly most consistent as well. And up until Bathurst, I was on the podium in every single race, despite starting as high as ninth in some races. But yeah, he's just had the speed throughout and got the wins as well. So that obviously that's quite important. But it's more the consistency, and yeah, congrats to him.
Well, it's probably beyond doubt. We've done the maths, and we don't think anyone can catch Marc Mercer. So we have, in the BSR TV commentary box, crowned him as champion this season. But second place is still up for grabs, and it puts you in good contention, having won that race, to take it off Swirydowicz with just one round left. So is that a possibility for you?
I'll need to look at the championship standings. I'm assuming it's pretty close.
Oh, absolutely, and all the more interesting for the final round next week. But some news from Radicals and from you is that you're going to be entering a team in the British Touring Car Championship next season.
Yes,
a new challenge.
Yeah, a new challenge, and it's going to be great driving a different car and driving with different people, and as well as that, different format, 3 sprint races as well.
Now, will that be your main focus, or are you still aiming to enter this particular championship?
I will not be entering this championship, sadly. I'm going to commit to the Neo Endurance Series with Radicals, do the Kia, the British Touring Cars, and also enter GT Academy.
Well, you did very well in the GT Academy last season as well. Narrowly missed out on making it through, didn't you?
Yeah, by I think it was 6 or 8 points. So I know what to do for this year, and I'm more prepared as well, with the right mindset.
And Blake's write-up of the GT Academy experience is actually on the Radicals Online website for any viewers who'd like to go and read about what that's like and find out how he got on last time out. So we're looking forward to seeing you in the British Touring Car Championship this year, I've got to say as well. So yeah, that's big news.
It is. I look forward to that. It's going to be exciting.
Well, sorry, go on, Matt. You look like you're about to chip in there.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
No,
in that case, thanks for joining us, Blake.
That may have been me yawning,
And,
but not because I'm bored or anything like that. Just because it's getting on quite late.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
past Matt's bedtime, so I have to say goodnight, Blake.
That's right. Cheers, guys.
See you later.
Cheers, Cheers, Blake.
Blake Townend there for Radicals Online, and that's good news, isn't it? To have some new entries in the British Touring Car Championship, which is also live here on BSR TV next season, and it should shake things up a bit.
Yeah, that's looking like a real competitive series for next season. It's a shame that we'll lose Blake from the Skippy, but I'm sure that Neo Series is a big one, so the Radicals guys are chasing after that.
It's worth mentioning as well that there's a huge amount of talent, both established and emerging, in the iRacing Skip Barber series. So big loss for the series to not have Blake Townend next season, but that gap will be filled pretty quickly, I imagine.
You would certainly think so.
Well, one more round to come next week from Interlagos. In the final round of the iRacing Skip Barber series, Marc Mercer has already taken the championship, as was the case last season when Blake Townend took it in the penultimate round. The championship's not in doubt for the final round. Second place is, and Townend and Swirydowicz' pride. into who can take second place will be on the line as well. So that's going to be Monday from 8:40 once again here on BSR TV. One final time with the Skip Barber series at the end of the season. This Wednesday, the finale of Season 2 of the Carrera Cup is live on BSR TV from 8:50 in the evening UK time. Join us for that one. I'm sure Marcus Narris will be back in the commentary box alongside Scott Woodwiss for that one. And then Thursday. Are you joining me on Thursday, Mr. Dalton?
Don't know, is the honest answer. It's half-term week and I may be out camping with the little ones, unfortunately.
Oh, no, honestly, all these real-life commitments. I tell you.
I know, it's disgusting, isn't it? I don't know what I'm thinking.
The British Touring Car Championship finale is on Thursday. Who will win that championship? Will it be Bianco or Movigo Racing? There's only 8 points separating those two teams. And also, who will take that championship for the drivers? Is that Jamie Rushworth, Stefan Hug, or perhaps one of the other three? We'll find out on Thursday, with or without Matt Dalton. It's yet undecided. Lots of things are undecided. Well,
my money is going to be on Jamie Rushworth, I think, just in case I'm not there to answer later.
And in the team championship?
That'll be Bianco.
Well, $100 prize going to the winning team, of course. No monetary prize other than pride for the Drivers' Championship. But from 8:50 on Thursday, we'll find out who's got what it takes to win the Driver Championship and the Team Championship from Brands Hatch Grand Prix. And that's about all from us this evening, so thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.